Okay, so now we're going to look at the story of a man who had such great faith that he did a crazy thing and built a giant boat in the desert. And why is that so crazy? Well, because in the desert, you don't have any water. So why would you build a boat? Well, Noah, who's the man we're going to learn about now, did that because he believed the things he'd heard from God instead of the things he was seeing. And he had faith in God by obeying the things he'd heard from God instead of believing the things he was seeing. And that, like we've learned, is faith. But before we get to the story of Noah, we need to look at two very important things about the heroes of the faith and the great men and women of God in the Bible who we're going to be looking at in the weeks to come. And the first thing we need to know about these men and women is that they are signs or arrows that point us to the greatest hero of all. You see, sometimes we look at these men and women and we think we can learn so much from their lives. And we can, but we need to remember that actually they just point us towards Jesus, who's the greatest hero of all. And the second thing we need to remember when we look at these great heroes of the faith and these great men and women of God in the Bible is that they, like us, were just humans. You see, they weren't special in that they had any superpowers. In fact, many of them made big mistakes and they had serious weaknesses. No, they weren't special, but they believed in a special God. And that God did great things through them because of their faith. And so we need to remember those two things when we look at these men and women or heroes of the faith in the Bible. One, they point us to Jesus, and two, they point us to how great God is instead of how great they are. So let's remember that, and now let's look at Noah, the man who had such great faith that he did a crazy thing by building a giant boat in the desert. Let's hear the story.